Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, You Got This, where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own personal experiences. As a former patient having borderline personality disorder, I talk about narcissism, I talk about schizophrenia, depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, and a plethora of other mental health topics. But I only come on as a former patient of almost 20 years. I'm not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot offer you a professional opinion. And all I ask of you in return is to please be kind in the comments. Be kind to me, be kind to other people, and show respect. If you like what you see here, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button because it's 100% free. Now today I'm going to do a video about my old psychologist, Dr. Richard Geist, how I did a pornographic film in his backyard while him and his wife were in the house, both with patients. Now, Dr. Richard Geist promoted me, I wouldn't say he encouraged my pornography, but he didn't discourage me doing pornography. I would give him plenty of my pornographic videos when I was doing it. He never discouraged me from doing it. He never discouraged me from sending him pornographic videos of mine that I did. In fact, I think, he got off on it because I don't know, but he never tried to, dissuade me from, doing the porn, which another psychologist would, who was ethical. And another psychologist would never allow a patient to send them pornographic videos through emails. They would never, ever allow that. But he did. I even told him I was doing a pornography video in his backyard. And you know what he said to me? Be careful that my wife don't see you, because she'll call the police. That's what he said. Be careful that my wife doesn't see you, because she'd call the police on you. Never discouraged me from doing pornography. Never, almost encouraged me, in fact, because if you don't discourage someone from doing something, isn't that kind of like encouraging them? If you don't say nothing, if I see my son stealing something in the store, right? Stealing a toy, and I don't tell him, you can't, stealing is not right. It's against the law. It's morally wrong. Put that back. If I say nothing, isn't that encouraging my son to steal? Because I'm not telling him not to. I'm not telling him that it's against the law, that it's morally wrong. We shouldn't take, that doesn't belong to us. We should always pay for. If I'm just letting him take it, and I know he's stealing, okay? I see my son stealing. I know he's doing that. And I just let him go ahead and do that. And I never say anything against it. By not saying anything is encouraging him to do it. Because do you get what I'm trying to say here? By not saying anything against it is encouraging, is, saying that's okay. I don't mind you doing that. I'm not going to, I'm not telling you not to do that. I'm not saying anything. I know you're doing that. And I'm just going to go ahead and let you do that. This is how I turned down a road of alcoholism. I went and I looked at, today, before I even did this video, I looked at my old emails from like 4 years ago that I sent Dr. Richard Geist. And I told him I was drinking extremely heavy and I was doing pornography, and I gave him videos. I even clicked on the links of those pornographic videos, and I saw exactly what I gave him. And I'm not going to go into the erotic graphic detail of what it was, but I didn't have a strip of clothes on, and I was doing you can guess what I was doing. When I did the video at his house, okay, I went in, he had a sandbox because he has grandchildren. I went into his sandbox and took trucks and different toys in the sandbox and did, I'll let you use your imagination, but it's a pornographic video, okay? And I was totally naked in the sandbox in Dr. Richard Geist's backyard. Not only did I do in the sandbox, but I also climbed, they had a big jungle gym with a slide. You know those like big play areas where they have like, where you climb the ladder and there's like a little private clubhouse, like with a, like a house that looks like it has like a roof in it, and there's swings and a slide that goes down. In fact, one therapy session, me and Dr. Geist went there in the little private clubhouse in his backyard and sat and played around. I'm not lying. I'm telling you the 100% truth. I know it sounds far out and bizarre, but this is really my truth. This is how I turned into an alcoholic. This is how I was, turned into doing pornography, because he should have been trying to help me. I told him that he was hurting me. I told him what I was doing. Imagine if my child said he's hurting and he starts stealing and doing all these illegal things or whatever. He's doing things that aren't good for him to do, and I just say, okay. I'm not telling, he didn't tell me to do it. He didn't say, oh, I think you should do this. You could earn great money if you did this. He didn't say that. Okay. But he didn't, try to, discourage me in any way, shape, or form. And he accepted all my porn videos that I emailed to him. He didn't say, you can't send me this. I don't want any of this. You have to stop it. Nothing like that. And the sad part is I didn't even tell the board about this, the licensing board, I did tell them, because I could write a book. Well, look at the links below. When someone says I could write a book, I did. And not just one. I've written dozens of books, okay? I've written like a half dozen books on this topic alone, not just my poetry books. But I've written about how these therapists are unethical. So I told him about it. I told him I was, on his swings in his sandbox and I even sent him the video of me. I sent him the video of me doing pornography in his backyard with him and his wife in the house, because she's a psychiatrist, and they're both seeing patients. So patients are in the house while I'm in the backyard doing all this porn. And they have a big picture window in the dining room that looks right out. It's like, the sliding doors. It's not a window. It's like a sliding door glass. It's huge. So you can see, if you're in the dining room, you can see right out into the backyard. He even came to the window, the door rather, the sliding door. And he saw me, but I had a coat on at that time. I had finished, okay? So what I did is I drove over to his house, and I had on a full-length coat. You know how those women wear mink coats and wear absolutely nothing underneath? Okay. It was not a mink coat. It was just a regular parker, a long parker with high-heeled cowboy boots. And I had nothing on except high-heeled cowboy boots. No bra, no underwear, no nothing. I had this long parker on and high-heeled cowboy boots. And I went over to his house, went in his backyard, and did the video, and I put it up on my Only Rhymes with Tans. I put it up there, and I said, this is what I did in my psychologist's yard. So, the next door neighbors, too, wouldn't be able to see, because our houses are so far apart, and there's big fences, they have large lots. He's this house he lives in is well over $1 million. It's in Newton. is in a, a very expensive part of Newton. If any of you live in the Massachusetts area, you know that Newton is a pretty well-to-do neighborhood. You don't have poor people living there. The houses there on his street, Beacon Street, are like worth millions and millions of dollars. So the neighbors are, wouldn't be able to see the way the backyard is, and their fences, and they just wouldn't be able to see in. It's not like where I live, where the neighbors can see everything. So no one else would be able to see, but patients could, and his wife could have seen and all that, But anyway, I wanted to come on and I wanted to, tell you just what I went through, that I never was protected in therapy. No therapist ever looked out for me. They encouraged me to steal. What I mean by encourage is they did not discourage me. Okay. When I told them I stole these, he never tried to discourage me from doing that. I wore a beautiful pair of, I don't know, suede shoes worth hundreds of dollars. And he goes, "Oh, I love your shoes." And I said, "Thanks, I stole them." And he goes, "Oh, I shouldn't have asked." No, he said, "Where did you get them from? They're gorgeous. Love those shoes." And I said, "I stole them." And he goes, "Oh, I shouldn't have asked." That's all he said. Instead of saying, "What are you doing? Why are you doing it?" Instead of being a therapist, trying to discourage me, trying to set me on the right path, he practically encouraged me to do pornography, encouraged me to steal, saying like, "Oh, I love those shoes. Where'd you get them?" I said, "Oh, I stole them." And he said, "Oh, I shouldn't have asked." What do you make of that comment? I shouldn't have asked, It isn't like, why did you do that? Nothing discouraging, nothing trying to get at why I'm doing this maladaptive behavior. When before Dr. Richard Geist was my so-called therapist, I use that term very loosely, very loosely. Never stole one thing in my whole life. Never drank vodka. Never did pornography. I had a 9-to-5 job. I worked in an engineering firm. I had plenty of friends. I had parties at my house. I socialized. Therapy destroyed my life. Watch my other videos. But that's the day that I did a pornographic video. Dr. Richard Geist, backyard in the sandbox and on the big play equipment, and I sent him that and many other pornographic videos, and he just smiled and